Scissorhands fact, we're going to the first video of 8-Bit Cember, 2023. And for the first video of 8-Bit Cember, we're going to talk some Edward Scissorhands. One of the most well-known Christmas movies, which is arguably a Christmas movie. But we ain't talking about that in this video. Today, I want to talk about why Edward Scissorhands stands out. I mean, besides the fact of, this movie existing. I mean, you can't tell me you're going to look at that and say that doesn't stand out. But there's other reasons, at least in my opinion, why I think Edward Scissorhands stands out. So let's start with a brief history lesson of how Edward Scissorhands became to be in the first place. Edward Scissorhands originally started as a drawing by teenage Tim showing his loneliness and isolation. Yeah, once you know Edward Scissorhands represents Tim Burton's teenage life, very lonely and isolated, that movie hits very different. Watch it, trust me. And to sadly quote Tim Burton himself, I get this feeling that people just have the urge to leave me alone for some reason. I don't know exactly why. Anyway, when Tim's second directed movie was in production, that being Beetlejuice, he hired Carolyn Thompson, which at the time was a young novelist, to write the screenplay for Edward Scissorhands. And Tim was becoming a big name at the time, with films like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Batman, and Beetlejuice, all being huge financial and critical successes, and all distributed by Warner Brothers. So when Tim based the idea of Edward Scissorhands on Warner Brothers, they loved it, and they started to make it. But within a few months of production, more sold to Fox. But finally, on December 14th, 1990, Edward Scissorhands was released. It's a huge critical and financial success. So now that we know how this movie happened, we can talk about why I think it stands out. And that is the ending of the film and two tropes that happen throughout the film. Starting off with the tropes, one which being the misunderstood character trope, which a misunderstood character will eventually become accepted. And the second trope is when two characters are in love but there's some obstacle in their way preventing them from getting together. And with most films with these tropes, they get solved by the end of the movie. Of course, not always. There are a handful of movies that don't do this, but it's rare. So instead of Edward being accepted, he's not. He's shunned and is all alone. Mr. character did not get accepted. He got shunned even further than he was before, which I can't say I've seen in a lot of movies, if any besides Edward Scissorhands. And by the end of the movie, Edward and Kim don't get together. They're separated, not meant to be. And honestly, this movie doesn't have a happy ending. It doesn't have a sad ending per se. It just has a bittersweet ending. Edward may not have Kim, he may be alone, but he's alive. Most movies have happy endings, and a good number have sad endings. But it's rare to find a movie that has a bittersweet ending. And that's why Edward Scissorhands stands out. And that shows series all the time movies, but makes them unique. And that's an ending that I don't think anyone going to this movie would ever expect. Bye guys for now, bye bye Scissorhands Facker.